Good afternoon, Runnin Rebel fans. I'm Curtis Terry, and this is Kicking It with Curtis Terry and Kevin Kruger. Now, over the last 13 months, we've had a lot of ups and downs, some worse than others, but I hope everyone is doing good, staying safe, as we start to return to some normalcy after and during the coronavirus pandemic. Now, before we get started, I want to thank you all for joining us. We're hoping to have a lot of fun, and we hope that you all do too, over the next hour or so. So if you're on your lunch break, stay clocked out for a little bit. If you're at home chilling, kick your feet up, relax, because it's time to have some Runnin Rebel fun. Now, we're coming at you live from the Mendenhall Center on the campus of UNLV. And as I mentioned, it's Kicking It with Curtis Terry, that's myself, as well as Kevin Kruger. Now, that's head coach of the Runnin Rebels, Kevin Kruger. Now, I don't know about you, Kevin, but I just like hearing it. I like saying it. Well, what's it like for you now, man? It's been like 2+ months since you've been named the head coach. Is it still surreal for you and the family, or kind of what are the emotions behind head coach?
Well, it's definitely surreal. I think, like you mentioned, anytime that your name's associated with UNLV and the Runnin Rebel program, there's a sense of pride. So being able to lead the program on the men's basketball side is just an overwhelming sense of pride and happiness and excitement and a good anxiety, but fun as well.
Now, you're not the first Kruger in charge here in Las Vegas of the Runnin Rebels.
True.
You've got some big shoes to fill. Well, maybe his shoes are maybe a little smaller, or maybe the same size. But with that said, what's it like to follow in your dad's footsteps here as the head coach after playing here yourself as well?
Well, I think the playing here obviously gave us a little bit of a footing and an understanding of what it's like to be here, be a Runnin Rebel that's here. But having him not only be here and play for him here, but to learn from him and talk to him and be able to go through experiences, I think is something that we'll absolutely lean on and look forward to doing and reach out to him as much as possible to help get going, because you know, he does have that vantage point from being here, you know, 15 years ago and being, yeah, sorry about that. But you know, we'll like I said, we'll talk to him, you know, get his input, see what he would do differently. Because ever since he's kind of decided to hang it up, what he's talked about most is the things he'd do differently. Not just at UNLV, but you know, going all the way back to K-State days and you know, everything he's kind of thought about now that he's been able to take a step away and do what he would do again, he would do differently, and it's fun to just kind of sit and listen to him talk about that. But as that continues to evolve and develop, I really am excited for him to get more specific about his time here in Vegas.
Right. Now, is there anything specific that stands out to you about what your dad mentioned, like what he would do different at any of his stops?
I mean, it hasn't gotten too deep yet in terms of anything other than, you know, what he kind of thinks really bothered him X's and O's wise. Okay. Or, you know, like little things like things that he always worried about in prep, in game prep as a head coach when they played certain teams that did certain things that he just really felt was like a thorn in his side. And so really enjoyed that, you know, and it's just fun to sit around and kind of just let somebody like that with his resume and credentials just talk. And because you know him, he's not a huge talker. No. So when he gets talking and he gets going, it's nice to just kind of sit back and listen. And
it's funny that you talk about in terms of your dad and the X's and O's, because I remember my senior year, Mountain West Conference Media Days used to be in Colorado. And so me and him, we flew out after practice one day on the flight, and I'm on the aisle on the plane, he's on the other aisle, and he's sitting there, he's got a little napkin, and he's scribbling on something. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then he hands it to me, he's like, what do you think about this, CT? And I'm like, okay, I see it. And he's like, we're going to run that. I'm like, all right. And then, truth be told, down the line in the season, we run that. I'm like, that's interesting. But I've noticed that's one thing, not just with you and your dad. You guys are very X's and O's driven. And I think that's something that's, I mean, obviously, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree from that standpoint.
Hope not. Hope not.
Now, I think something that's interesting is people say their dream job, right? And we've heard that term a lot about people when they get to a job or when people leave said job and go to dream job. Why is this actually like your dream job, Joe? What makes this different for you at UNLV?
I think there's no bad memories of or experiences at UNLV or Las Vegas. You know, coming here from Arizona State and having that 4 years at ASU, and then coming here and just the way we kind of hit the ground running, and everything just kind of fell into place. And then following him coaching after I left, even with your team, and you know, even going down Oscar Belfield's teams and those guys, it's just nothing but kind of happy memories and excitement. And so while the term dream job's kind of thrown around casually. I think just from a comfort and a familiarity and where it's my first job, I still think there's a lot of things that I've kind of experienced in a way, just maybe in off the court stuff, and so that's kind of gives us an opportunity to make it go.
Now, before we could get lost and we could do this all day. I mean, we usually just sit back and shoot the you-know-what. But I want to make sure that everybody out there, make sure that you guys all comment, make sure you like, you subscribe, as well as make sure you click on the form so that way you guys can fill in and be eligible for some prize giveaways. We're giving away a pair of custom UNLV basketball shoes, some jerseys, and we've also got something special from me and Kevin's time here playing that we're going to throw in there to give away to you fans as well. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and also throw in comments, questions. We're going to take those live and answer those over the course of the next 40, 45 minutes or so that we're hanging out with you guys. Now, a fun part for me and what I like to do is try to get people out of their comfort zone. And I'm going to try to do my best with you, but we've got some Q&A stuff that's kind of going to be fun. Now, you and I talk pretty regularly, whether that's good or bad. I don't know. I don't really care. I just enjoy talking to you. But I know it's been kind of a whirlwind for you since you took the job. Things have kind of been crazy. But what's been the biggest adjustment that you've had to make since you took the job to get your feet wet and to get going?
I think it's just the responsibilities are just a little different. You know, when you're an assistant coach, it's not overly complicated, and not that the head coaching responsibilities are either to that extent. But when you're an assistant, you know, it's pretty clear cut and dry what you're supposed to come in and do every day, and kind of what you're expected to do. And I think from the head coach side, it's just a wider spectrum of things, whether it's talking here or, you know, going there, and I think so. It's again all great, of course, but I think it's just maybe a little bigger realm of responsibilities.
Now, I've already alluded to the similarities, the resemblances between you and your dad. Obviously, you guys are good-looking gentlemen. Whether it's the demeanor, the presence on the court, the appearance, the wit, the X's and O's. But what is one thing that you do differently than your dad and that you're better at than your dad?
I think I'm a little more fiery than him.
Okay.
I think I probably got a little more. I don't know how to put it.
How's your dadgummit?
Yeah. I might throw out a swear word every now and again. Unintentional, of course.
Right, and that's one thing people ask me, what was it like for playing for Coach Kruger? And I was like, honestly, it was cool. It was the best thing, greatest coach, but he never cursed.
No,
I can't remember him cursing.
He's a usually pretty calm guy, and I think I might have instances where I might not be as calm as he was.
So. Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Now, again, make sure you guys throw in your comments, your questions. We want to take those. We've got Coach Kevin Kruger here. We want to make sure that we answer your guys' questions. We want to engage with the fans. We want to let you guys to get to know Kevin, as well as make sure you guys fill in the form so that way you guys can be eligible to win the swag, the prizes that we're trying to give out to you guys here today. Now to the fun stuff. From our time back in the day, we used to live together. Obviously, we spent a lot of time together. What reality TV show or game show would you most likely to go on?
Like from when Chop was at the house and
no,
you
just in
and
general.
No, okay.
What reality TV or game show are you most likely to go on, or would you go on?
It could be a game show too.
It could be a game show.
Family Feud.
Family Feud.
That would be fun. My grandma and I used to watch Family Feud.
Okay.
But my wife does watch a lot of reality TV. I got to throw that out there.
Okay.
So we've been watching some reality TV lately. Gosh, what was the one called?
So what's your favorite?
On the boat, the yacht. There's one on a yacht. That would be fun.
Okay, the one on the yacht.
What? Below Deck.
Below Deck. Okay, I've heard of that one.
That one would be fun.
Okay. I think that one gained a little traction here.
I mean, if we go and get to enjoy it, I don't know about going and being.
You don't want to work on a boat?
No, not really.
Me neither.
No.
That sounds terrible.
But I can go and have fun on the boat.
Now, what about? Do you have any interest in Southern Charm or Summer House?
We do watch those too.
Okay, tell me about those.
We do. Wait, which?
Southern Charm and Summer House?
Summer House, that's the one. We watched that the other day.
Okay.
Summer House.
I hear that's a favorite of yours.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Yep, wife loves that one.
Mrs. Kruger, Mrs.
Yes.
Allie Kruger, is a big fan of Southern Charm and Summer House, as well as her husband, head coach
Yeah.
Kevin Kruger, on Bravo. That's where you can find it.
Nice little Bravo plug there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this goes back to your playing days, because you played at Arizona State. You played 1 year here at UNLV. You played professionally as well after you got done playing in college. But who was the funniest teammate that you ever had during the course of your playing days?
Ooh. Well, the first one that comes to mind is Lamar Roberson.
Okay, so Lamar Roberson, Houston, Texas. Go ahead.
Lamar spent a little bit of time with us here at UNLV before he moved on to greener pastures. He was up there. Wink Adams definitely comes to mind. He had some antics, and for some reason with Wink, I never understood it, but no matter what he did, he could not get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, old ball coach could not scold Wink. It just didn't happen. And Wink had a golden ticket in that regard. He thought it was funny. I don't know why old ball coach thought everything was funny, but Wink had a pretty infectious and fun personality, so it was easy to kind of look past some of the stuff in it for it to be funny.
Now tell me this, whether it's Lamar, whether it's Wink, or anybody else, can you give us your best impersonation of any of your former teammates?
No, but I'm sure you could do a really good Greg Grinsing.
Now I can do a good Coach Kruger. I'm going to leave my Coach Grinsing out for today. Shout out to Coach Grinsing. I know he's recovering and went through some things health-wise, but we hope, aside from myself, but which former Rebel teammate of yours do you keep in the most contact with?
Ooh, aside from you, talked to Rene Rougeau recently, Mike Ume, Joel, quite a bit, and then Wendell actually came by 2 summers ago when we first got here. So probably those guys, I'd say the most, but then still talk to Gaston through Instagram messages. He's still playing, of course, as you know. So that's wild. That's wild to think about, still going out there and playing every day. But really, a lot of those guys have been able to stay in touch through social media.
Now, when you transferred in that summer, were you in the gym in the Cox downstairs? Do you remember playing pickup with us when Gaston tried to attack Mike Ume?
No, I wasn't there.
No? Ooh, that was a good one.
Gaston and Mike Ume?
Yeah. Now, Mike's from Houston, right? Mike Ume, strong, physical, athletic, but Gaston is a whole different kind of physical specimen. But no, again, those are some good times. We're going to talk about some of those good times because over the course of your playing career, Arizona State, all Pac-12 player, again, came to UNLV, kind of gave us that shot in the arm, and we went on to do some great things. So thank you, Rick, for that question in terms of the former UNLV teammates that Kevin keeps in touch with most. Carrie has a question that's coming in from the YouTube channel. What is your favorite restaurant or favorite place to eat in town?
Oh. Well, we live in Henderson, and with our little one, we have a 1.5-year-old, little Cammy, and we enjoy nothing more than walking down to the district, whether it be Bella Vita, Balboa, Rachel's Kitchen down, just kind of that district area. We love going down there, so I'd say somewhere down in the district where we can take her. We go at odd hours, of course, because it's not too crowded before we're asked to leave, because Cammy gets a little wild.
Bella Vita. Now, again, I'm not trying to. These are not intentional plugs that I'm throwing out there, but I believe they opened a Bella Vita in Mountain's Edge off Blue Diamond, close to where we live.
Close to where you live.
Yeah.
But this isn't a plug.
No, it's me saying I probably need to check it out if you guys go there. That's all. So good recommendation for that one. Now, when you were a kid, you spent a lot of time in college locker rooms, on the benches, obviously of your dad's teams. But through your younger days and through your teenage days, I'm curious, was there something in particular that you used to get in trouble for the most?
Oh, wow. So not anything specific, I'd say, but yeah, I usually get in trouble for just not staying in one place. I remember that a lot. Because when we were growing up, after school, Mom would just drop me off at the gym, and Dad's team would be in practice and just kind of be on my own. And while he was responsible for me, I kind of had free reign of whatever gym or campus or whatever that was going on, and didn't have a cell phone in 1990. So yeah, I think that as much as anything, them just kind of wondering where I was, but nothing too bad. I wasn't breaking into houses or stealing cars. So
yeah, I don't take you for that kind of guy. No, good choices there, Kevin. Not yet. Hopefully not never. Now, obviously, you were a professional basketball player. You've been an assistant coach at the college level. You're now a head coach. So besides your current job, and outside of sports, what is your dream job? Or what was your job you dreamed of growing up as a kid?
I don't know. That's this is way out there, and I don't even know how. But I always, this is gonna, okay, whatever. Always wanted to be in the FBI, and I have no idea why. I was just really fascinated by FBI shows.
Okay.
You know, the TV shows growing up. Chose to get into a criminal justice major, a justice studies degree at Arizona State, largely because of my interest with those types of TV shows and that life.
So like the forensic work, or like the actual police work, or like the detective undercover?
Yeah, it never made it that far.
No.
I don't have any idea.
What's your, okay, so then
Just that direction.
So then what's your favorite like law or criminal police show or series?
Well, at that time in college, it was CSI.
Okay.
Vegas.
Right.
Even when I was at ASU.
Shout out to Grissom. And they're actually filming another season of CSI Las Vegas.
What?
It's coming back.
Well, there we go.
We might need a cameo for the head coach. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, no, we watch a lot of the documentaries, you know, the true crime documentaries at home, and but yeah, I don't know why. I just always found that fascinating.
That's funny. I'm with you though. I like CSI, Criminal Minds, Law and Order. Obviously, How to Get Away with Murder, To Catch a Killer. All those things. I mean, again, that's not like my dark side or like my alter ego. I just think they're very interesting. So cool. Okay. So we know maybe after your days are done here, a long tenure as the head coach, we can kind of serve pro bono on the police force, or kind of do some advising or some consulting.
Hop on over to detective.
Okay, cool. Now again, make sure everybody drop in your comments, drop in your questions. We've got some coming in. Again, but also make sure that you enter to win the swag over here. We've got UNLV hoop shoes, custom ones. We've also got some jerseys that we're going to give away. Black, red, and white, the alternates. Now when we played, we didn't get black jerseys.
No. I remember actually we had the scarlet, the gray, and the white. We lost in the grays.
Never saw them again.
And I remember Shep after the game saying we are done wearing gray.
Never.
And that was the end of gray.
Yeah. Well, we did have the throwback ones.
We did have the throwbacks that were so baggy.
Super baggy. So it's funny. So
super baggy.
I was I'm not a hoarder, but I have all my stuff at home from when I played, and I was digging through there to kind of see what kind of memorabilia that we had from our years, and I found that jersey and the shorts.
It's like down to the knees. Like the jersey is down to the knees.
Oh yeah, the bottom of the shorts touch the top of my shoes. It's crazy. Now you mentioned Coach Shep said we're not wearing those jerseys again. Obviously a little superstitious. Do you have any superstitions?
I don't feel that, and maybe I can be corrected here. I don't feel I have superstitions. I have a routine.
Okay.
If that's fair.
Yeah. Can you give me more?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm probably not the only. When you like put on your socks and shoes in the morning, if I put on my right sock first, it feels weird.
So you always go left sock, then right sock?
Right.
Then left shoe, right shoe? Okay, fair enough. That's funny. So when I played, I'm kind of pseudo-superstitious. Obviously, like my brother Jason, he would like sleep in the opposing team's game shorts, eat chicken fingers before a game, and all this kind of crazy stuff. He's way out there on the superstitions. But I always had to put my socks on the same way. And former equipment manager Rocky Rutledge, I was like, dude, I got to label my socks like left one, right one, left two, right two, because they had to go on. Otherwise, I just felt weird, like my shoes didn't fit.
Exactly.
So I can relate to that one. I don't think that's not superstitious.
No, I think that's normal.
That's just normal. I mean. That's just normal. Now, 2006, 2007, a big year here in Las Vegas for the Runnin Rebels, obviously for yourself and for the program. But now as head coach of the Runnin Rebels, those memories kind of still linger, obviously from your playing days here. But I know a big thing for you is restoring the program back to prominence and back to success. But is there anything in particular that you experienced here as a player that you want your incoming guys to have the opportunity to experience and to go through?
Well, no question. I think, we talked about, Andy and I were actually talking about it last month, of how we went back and we found that first game we played, there was a listed attendance of 9,000. We played Hawaii on opening night. And you and I both know, and everybody that was there knows, there was not 9,000 people in that gym.
Nope.
But that kind of gradual progression from opening night with whatever you want to say there was, to senior night being, or the last few games even being, almost full capacity. Just kind of having that experience and that kind of that sense of pride that goes with knowing you were a part of the team that kind of developed that throughout the year. And obviously before social media, so I just want those guys to be able to have those same experiences and those same feelings towards UNLV and getting the program where they want it to be, and just having that sense of ownership and pride like we do, really.
Right, and I think that's a big thing about it. I know people talked about it in the past, and they asked me about it. I know you probably get the same question of why do you care so much, or why are you so passionate? And for me, it's a big thing about pride, right? I think, and everybody knows my story, and I'm not going to sit here and bore you guys with it. But your dad and the staff here are the only people that gave me an opportunity. And I feel forever indebted to them, to the university, to the community for those opportunities. And I think that's why I really bleed UNLV so strongly. And I like to hear that you say that you have that. Even though your short time here, that 1 year, you were able to gain that. But I know that that season had a lot to do with it. Now we're talking that 2006-2017, we went 30-7. We finished second in the Mountain West Conference, won the Mountain West Conference tournament, advanced to the Sweet 16. Now that was a great year, right? A lot of fun. Had a lot of fun on and off the court. Unfortunately, that was 14 years ago. Now, not to age us, because I think our looks do that. My hair's not the same. I hope it looks good right now.
Well, I know my hair's definitely not the same.
But that was the last most successful team that UNLV has had.
Well, kind of. I mean, your team was pretty.
One of the two last most successful teams that UNLV has had.
I mean, your team does have an NCAA tournament record.
Yes, you are right. Kent State Golden Flash, and you actually got a guy coming in from Kent State.
We do.
And we'll get to talking about the incoming guys and kind of the roster rebuild. But the reason I bring that up is because of the good times that we had. I think we should relive some of those moments and your times as a player at UNLV. And so we can use some of the magic from that season to spark some excitement as we move into the oncoming season for 2021-2022. So as we jump into this, we're going to take a look at some clips, some videos, some film, and kind of see some of the moments and the fun that we had. But is there anything that stands out, big picture, about just the overall kind of theme from that season for you?
I don't know. That team just felt like it had like a sense of security to it. Like when things weren't going well, there was never a sense of or a feel of, oh man, this is bad. You know, this is really bad. Like, how are we going to get out of this? Like, that team just had kind of a confidence to it that we were like, all right, you know, we stubbed our toe, we'll be fine. And I don't know, when I look back at that team, I never remember having any panic or any kind of anxiety. We just kind of stuck to our guns and felt we were pretty good, and just kind of went out and played.
Yeah, I had some panic, some anxiety, that's for sure. You obviously being an upperclassman, and we had 5 seniors on that team. Started 4, defensive player of the year in the conference coming off the bench. A lot of firepower. We're going to talk about it, but the season didn't start.
What were you nervous about?
What position I was going to play, and if I knew the right spots. But that season didn't start off the smoothest. There were some ups and some downs until we kind of got rolling. And we're going to go ahead and roll the film here, Ricky, and we're going to take a look at some of this stuff. Now, this game. Shout out to CT for the bucket right there. But UNLV at Reno, December 9th, 2006. UNR was ranked number 20 in the country. What do you remember from going up to Reno for your first time in that rivalry game?
Well, I remember we went out there, and I mean, that place was rocking. And I just remember kind of, we got out to a little bit of a lead. We got on them early. And then I just remember we did not score forever. You know, I don't remember a ton other than that. We just didn't kind of couldn't get over the hump in the second half and kind of let them back into it. I do remember you have hopefully. Oh man, this is it right here. No, I do remember this one actually.
Oh, this one?
Yep.
Ooh, pow. Done that a couple times over the days.
Now, I know there's you were laughing about that.
There's something else that happened in this. And I don't know if I think they're going to show it. I don't know. But I know you're going to remember it once we see it. Joel Anthony. Now, the thing about Joel, like I said, he
player of the year,
came off the bench, had a long NBA career, won 2 NBA
champions. Joel Anthony.
The good old days of this group. Oh, here it is right here. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I remember that. Wait, can we rewind?
Yeah, I think we can.
It's already ready. Who is that? Is that Troy or Matt? Is that Matt Shaw
on the bench? Yeah, yep, Matt Shaw.
Okay.
The disappointment. Wow. But you know, I don't know if you've been in that position, Kev, because I'm a high riser, right? So like when you get on the break.
Do I dunk it? Do I not dunk it?
Yeah, it's kind of like, do I throw it in their face and kind of taunt? Do I lay it up?
Not a lot of those experiences.
I got stuck in between. Now, obviously, we were able to go up there and beat number 20 ranked UNR. And I think not that was the moment I knew we were going to do something, but I think that was one of the moments to where we kind of got some confidence.
On 58-49, I mean, we were obviously guarding people pretty good.
Well, that's the thing about our group. We defended.
Yeah.
And people think, I mean, I think we scored pretty well.
I also remember this one because I remember we were actually in the lobby going to the game, and this family stopped us, and I was talking to my dad on the way out to the bus, and a family stopped us, and I'm not really sure why or what, if I missed something, but they just wanted to talk to us about how they had come all the way from Bloomington, Indiana, to see the game and see Coach Knight break the record, and I don't know if they were telling us that as like
Trying to get in your head?
yeah, but it didn't feel like it at the time. But
now look at that hustle.
That's big time.
Sacrificing your body for the team. And again, the relevance of this game, December 28, 2006, UNLV at Texas Tech. Bobby Knight was going for win number 880, and at the time that would have made him the all-time winningest coach in Division I men's basketball. And so this game was on ESPN2, obviously. But, I mean, Steve Alford was there. Tark. Everybody and their mom from college basketball royalty was there to see this happen. And I know that was one reason we had a chip on our shoulder. We didn't want to be that team to have that associated with.
I remember this kind of a little bit of a similar story to Reno. I think we got out to a pretty good start and made some shots early. And then, again, we kind of hit a little bit of a second half lull, but that's where the defense kind of kicked in and held strong.
I mean, common theme here. Kevin was a point guard, obviously. That Gator, we ran the same thing over and over. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. No, but, I mean, you're a point guard. You distributed the ball. You could attack, get to the basket, but you were not shy to shoot it. Can you still shoot it?
Of course.
Good answer.
Oh, you want more?
Oh, no, I like it. That's simple, yeah. It's like, I mean, it's like riding a bike. You don't ever forget, right?
I hope so.
Now, but riding a bike, that could be difficult. Is Cammie riding a bike yet?
No, she's got a little push scooter, though.
The little balance one? Or the push scooter?
Like two wheels in front, one behind.
Okay.
She holds onto the handlebars, and she just straight ahead, right into a wall. Bang.
Okay.
Left wing.
Yeah, okay, Wendell White.
Joe Darger.
A lot of emotion
Danger.
here. Yeah. And that place was sold out, too, mind you. I mean, that place was packed. A lot of cowboy boots in the building that night.
That place was rocking.
And Bobby Knight was not a happy camper. It's funny, so I wasn't heavily recruited, but you know, like when you, and I don't know how it is now, this day and age with recruiting, but when I was getting recruited, you get like just the pamphlets, the mailers, right? And I got some from Texas Tech. I immediately threw them in garbage. No offense, but like Bobby Knight, his style didn't do it for me. In terms of like your coaching style, what?
Well, now being a parent, how do you see that differently now? If you do.
My son wouldn't have played. My son's not going to play for him.
You're obviously a disciplinarian.
Yeah, I'm the nice guy.
Okay.
Now again on the course of the season, now Wendell White broke his jaw during the season.
I remember against Wyoming.
Had his mouth wired shut. You suffered a deep thigh contusion, the worst bruise anybody's ever had. He sat out for like 3 months. It seemed like.
It was like 3 games.
But we go on.
See that right there? Like we're gonna teach our guys, and we got to be really good. We got to go off 2 feet.
Can we bring that back, Ricky? Can we bring that back?
You got to go off 2 feet, and you've got to avoid the charge. Got to avoid the charge here. It's just too pivotal of a play.
So,
oh, man.
Well, you know that's that block charge call, man. That can go either way. I think that was a great spin move by Kurt. Try to avoid contact. I don't know who that was that flopped, but I clearly wasn't happy about it.
I think we were all celebrating there for a second. We all thought it was an and one.
Yeah, I think I was strutting. I thought I was the man.
Even the scoreboard thought it was.
Look, they even put it on the replay, like going to commercial. Yeah, no. Okay. Now in this game, I mean, obviously the Mountain West Conference Championship from 2007, we were down 16-3 to start the game. Stormed back. BYU, obviously not in the conference anymore, but in terms of playing against the BYU Cougars, what was that moment like for you in terms of trying to get to the NCAA tournament?
I remember that game. Nothing went right early. I do remember that.
No.
It just felt like they couldn't miss. They were kind of playing like they had been there before, and were kind of when we hadn't. I mean, our first year being together for the most part, but I don't know if there was a sense of anxiety from playing like for our tournament life, because I think we all felt we were going to make the tournament even with a loss, but there is a little bit of added thought, you know, with it being at the Thomas and Mack, with definitely a pro UNLV crowd, even though the BYU fans, they were as loud as it gets, but I think maybe that kind of contributed to a slow start a little bit, but again, went on a nice little run in the second half, made some shots, and it was a good way to go into the NCAA tournament. For sure.
Yeah, just having that momentum. I mean, obviously in that place, you look at standing room only, it was packed. The excitement, the celebration. Look, not even single emotion there. Now, are you gonna have a little fire when you win your first Mountain West Conference Tournament championship? I don't know.
I mean, you know him.
I know. Just that one time. I hope. Now, one thing I will mention. When the video went out that you called your dad on FaceTime, you and Cammy, and told him the news, my heart melted a little bit.
Yeah, he was happy there.
It was awesome. We were actually in the drive-thru grabbing the kids something to eat after we went out and I think grabbed groceries. And we were watching. I got a couple tears in my eyes and welled up, and proud moment, like proud dad moment. That's what I felt like, even though you're older than me.
Thanks, too.
Now again, that Mountain West Conference championship was the first of two that I won.
Yes.
Only one for you, but nonetheless. But that sent us off to the NCAA tournament as a 7 seed. Probably felt like we were a little slighted there.
I think we did. But again, you got to keep in mind that also means, that's anywhere from 24 to 28 in the country.
Right.
But yeah, we felt we had probably done. Oh, Andy Grossman.
There's a shot of a young Andy Grossman there.
Young Andy Grossman. Look, do you see how quickly he got in and out of the picture?
The
like
best
that?
SID in business.
Right there. That's why they pay him the big bucks.
That big bucks. Shout out to my guy Andy,
What
off camera to our right.
Oh.
Yeah, so Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Now this is a team, they're a 10 seed.
Javaris Crittenton, Thaddeus Young, Mario West. They were talented. I do remember we were preparing for this game on the Thomas and Mack floor, and I do remember Steve Henson stopping practice and just getting after us about just not really understanding and appreciating how talented and good these guys were. And I don't know if I'd say that was a turning point in our prep for it, but if we weren't ready for them at that point, I think after kind of getting that kick in the pants a little bit got us going.
Yeah.
And I see the hairdo.
Right.
Change the hairstyle a little bit.
Back in the day when you had it, you had to flaunt it.
Left side.
Mm-hmm. How's it go? Is it left side? Strong side!
Oh.
You know? This was, in the sense of this game, playing the NCAA tournament is so much fun. Obviously, that's a goal for you to get your guys back there. But being able for us to get this win and move on, I think this was the first NCAA tournament win for UNLV in, I think it was 15 years at the time. Something like that. We'll have Andy check on that. Moment of pride for you, though. What did it feel like being able to secure an NCAA tournament win?
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to put. At the time, you don't really think much about it because it's a game. It's just another game, and we knew we had a pretty good. At this time, we would have been 28-6 on the year.
Right.
So we knew we had a good year, and I don't think that we felt that we had accomplished enough, but I think probably the majority of the fan base at the time was pretty happy with where we had gotten to and the direction of the program going forward. But did that make it 64-61? That's the clincher free throws here by Ume.
Michael Ume, cool as the other side of the pillow. And Mike's still playing. He's playing in France right now, I believe.
From Hightower High School outside of Houston. We got a couple
Sugarland.
Guys coming in.
Mike Ume from Sugarland. Sugarland, Texas.
We got a couple guys that know where that's at. We've talked about that a few times with them. But
And again, you can't measure what we did. This team, they had 2 first-round draft picks on this team. Mm-hmm. And we had 0 draft picks in general, first or second round.
Blocked by Joel.
Mm-hmm. Typical. That was the one thing I felt about this group. We had the privilege of being able to get up and pressure people full court as hard as we want, even if we got beat, because we knew we had the big fella in the back.
Well, and Gaston was a really underrated shot blocker as well. You know, I know Joel has the game against TCU. I think he has the Mountain West record for block shots, but you know, I think Gaston blocked 3 or 4 that game as well. So, you know, he was a lot of the same. He may not be as long and wiry as Joel was, but we didn't have to change anything when he was in there.
Right.
But yeah, no, to your point, we could definitely get out and pressure people a little bit and take a little more risks, and knowing that you got guys back there that can protect the rim.
Right. Is that 84% free throw percentage? Third in the Mountain West?
Oh. Thanks, Ricky.
Jinxed
Great
him right
clip.
there. Yeah. We had to add one in there somewhere. It's not completely perfect. There's that one smudge of a missed free throw.
Got all my turnovers coming up next here.
Free throw contest right now between you and your dad. Who would win best out of 100?
Well, hopefully I would.
Hopefully, but do you honestly believe that?
When's the last time you think he shot a free throw?
It's, like you said, it's like riding a bike, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's an old bike. Oh, I'm just. The bike's old, not coach.
this is recording, right, Ricky?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Please, God, coach, I'm never going to be invited over again. So we dribble out the clock here,
man.
and this win sends us on to the second round to play number 2 seed Wisconsin, who were headed by Coach Bo Ryan, who had some choice words about you even being able to be a member of that team. What do you remember about his comments?
I didn't hear him for a long time after, or if I did, I didn't pay any attention to him, because I remember even years later feeling like the first time I had heard it.
Right.
But yeah, those comments are, oh well.
Right. And as we finish up, ooh.
Yeah, good.
Dang.
Somebody else is on here missing a free throw.
Jeez, come on, Mike. 73%, 84%.
Yeah.
I'm not a numbers guy. I didn't study accounting at UNLV, not by any stretch.
But that was also something we did really well, I thought, was like you saw Wink pick up the ball full court right there. You know, we never got beat in the backcourt, gave up advantage situations.
Right.
And, you know, whether it was you, Corey Bailey, Mike, you know, Wink. I didn't pick it up. Marcus didn't pick it up. We were always in the backcourt, you know, protecting the fast break. But, you know, I think that was something that we did pretty well.
Now
Did
this
you just
one.
skip the Wisconsin game?
I don't. Yeah. If we skipped that, I mean, we just the fun's over now. Okay, we'll jump into this one.
right.
So, Sweet 16 game
Gator action.
in St. Louis at the Edward Jones Dome, home of the formerly St. Louis Rams. Oregon was a 3 seed in our region. We started the game. I mean, we were in a good spot,
We were fine.
but this got away from us at some point.
A little bit.
Why?
Yeah.
Why was that from your standpoint?
Well, we just, you know, we like to switch everything. We switch likes with the guards, and I think there was a handful of times that, you know, they were just ready for it, and you know, they had a really good change of pace, change of direction, and it kind of caused us to hesitate sometimes, and we let Porter get going. I thought we did a really good job on Taylor and Aaron Brooks, who played for forever in the NBA, but you know, Porter had a good game. You know, that's what you got to do to win games. I mean, somebody's got to have a big or a good game, and you know, hats off to him. He did. We didn't shoot it well as a team, but we were right there. I think we had a couple looks late to make it an even more interesting game than it ended up being. But
And I appreciate and I accept the political answer there about Tawan Porter having a good game, but I'm calling it, man. He went 8 of 10 from 3. That was probably the best game of his life, but it was at the worst time for us to sustain that, 100%. Because I truly believe if we would have beat them, I think
was fast, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, he's quick, obviously, quick little. I think we could have beat them. I think we could have beat Florida.
sure.
In the next round to go to the Final Four. Yeah, I truly believe that.
Well, the one thing we did have that was our advantage all year was Wendell. You know, and Wendell at that 4 position. At that time, it was still kind of more of a too big kind of game. And Wendell being able to have that advantage, you know, at the 4 position with his ability to shoot it but also drive it was kind of the key that kind of made us go.
And you talked about it. We just didn't shoot good. I mean, that showed us going we were 0 for 8, I think, and they started 7 of 10. Rough night. I mean, great night for him to have his best shooting game. Terrible night for us to have our worst shooting game as a team.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of fun that year, and obviously we want to get back to that. And so, as much as it is to turn back the clock and stroke our egos and to puff our chest about how good we used to be, this is about the future and what you're going to build here. So there's been a lot of turnover from last year's roster coming into this year. We're going to go through with some of these guys, and we appreciate all the questions. We're going to get into some of those now here as we kind of come to a close here and talk about the future of this UNLV program. But what is it that you want to build in terms of style of play, overall roster makeup, and what you're looking for moving forward?
I think the first and foremost, we want to get a group out there that plays hard and easy to root for. You know, a team that kind of embodies the Las Vegas spirit, the UNLV spirit. You know, the fighter's mentality of going out there and swinging away and competing. And I think that through the years, you know, even the teams that weren't exceptional, you know, the teams that the community and the city's really been able to gravitate to and rally around are the ones that just go out and fight like crazy. And I think so far with the roster that we've put together, and we still could be making additions going forward here. We're not completely done, or we can be, depending on what we want to do. But I think we've put together a group that has a chip on their shoulder and has a little bit of fire to them, and that the city will really enjoy cheering for.
And you mentioned in terms of the connection to the community with those teams in the past. What do you foresee trying to do to get more fans in the Thomas and Mack when it's allowed? What do you see your team or your program doing to engage those people to get them to support the team and to back you guys?
I think, you know, we want to do a lot of things, obviously, COVID permitting. You know, we used to have open practices. You know, again, if COVID allows it, we would love to be able to do that again, to have people come by and meet the guys, because it's not just about cheering them on the court, but if you can get to know them and meet them and spend some time with them and get to know them as people, then, you know, that makes it that much more appealing to root for them and cheer for them because they're representing the team that you like. But little things like that, just having the ability to get them out in the community to where they can get face-to-face with people who cheer for them is vital, I think, to getting people back to the MAC.
Yeah, and we talk about this program, we talk about the roster turnover, but right now we've got 9 new guys that are signed incoming for next year. And you're ranging from point guard, 6'2", guards, Jordan McCabe at 6 foot, all the way up to 6'10". We've got some size. But in constructing this roster, what was it that you wanted to kind of build around in terms of having to kind of reset the club here?
Yeah, I think, well, the one thing we always talked about when we were first meeting as a staff is the motor. You know, I think everybody that's coming in is a high motor player, and you know, and it happened kind of when we were combing through transfers and people we knew and having those discussions with people. It turned out that, you know, the guys with the higher motors tend to come from more defensive-minded programs. So when you see the list that we've got, when you talk about West Virginia and Texas and Oklahoma, and you know, the defensive player of the year in the Southland from Lamar, you know, you just kind of develop it. Kind of worked itself out, really. We didn't sit down and just say we can only take a transfer from this school because he's been taught defense this way, because they've all learned it differently as well. But the one thing they do when you watch them on film and you watch their clips, or you watched them play last year, is they play incredibly hard. They have a team-first mentality. So we just really felt that putting this group together, if we can get a team-first mentality group, that we'll get off to a good start.
Now, in terms of dynamic with the guys that are returning and the new guys coming in, because they're not allowed to come on campus, I think they're going to come out in June, I believe,
late
for summer
May.
school.
Yeah, well, they can come out late May. We can't start anything until June.
Okay, so they're going to come out late May, start summer school, get out here. What do you foresee you guys trying to do to get your group acclimated, to get that chemistry, to get them to gel with so many new faces, but still with some new returning guys and trying to get those dynamics?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to do a lot of team building stuff, and not necessarily just basketball, but in those summer workouts, sometimes, you know, you use those individually and you can kind of space them out. And I think our approach, at least at the beginning for certain, will be more team, you know, entire team activity, you know, playing and getting to learn each other, mixing the groups up to get to know each other, you know, 1 through 15 or however many we have on the roster, and little things like that. But at the same time, you know, spending time together off the courts is important as well. And it can't just be, coaches critiquing and directing. We've got to spend time with them, whether it be at dinner, team building activity, whatever that may be. But yeah, there's definitely no shortage in understanding that we got to get them to play together.
And we're gonna come to a close here. Obviously, we appreciate everybody for taking the time out of their day to join us. We appreciate you, Coach, for sitting down. Still calling you coaches.
Thanks, CT.
I'll get used to it. But we're going to take a few questions here that were submitted. Now, Beverman asks, what experiences from your playing days in the G League and overseas have helped you in terms of your recruiting style and your coaching style?
I think for the most part, in terms of the coaching style, I got to learn from a lot of different coaches. I played for a coach in Belgium that did something a little more unique, where as soon as the game's over, he does not address the team.
He's just gone?
Everybody, you shower and you go home, and then the next morning we would meet. Because he didn't feel that he felt emotions were too high sometimes after a game and doesn't want the wrong thing to be said. Little things like that. Whereas we may not do that, it's still a nice reminder that, don't get too worked up about something right after a game, because everybody's, again, your emotions, your adrenaline is still going. Right. So, but that's something that actually at the end of every single game since that last game in Belgium has always stuck with me. And then on the recruiting side, just, trying to find that blend of, being a player and understanding what that's like, and then also being a coach and trying to find that happy medium so that, the guys understand that we're here to help them get to where they want to get to.
And Nomad 2415 asks, what will be the biggest difference defensively between your team and the teams over the last few years?
I think we just wanted to pick it up a little bit. Pick up the tempo, kind of dictate the pace and the tempo of the game. And I think we can do that. We've got a lot of very, very talented, high energy guys on this roster, and I think we'll be able to use that to our advantage. I don't think we're going to need to save legs or worry about minutes restrictions. I really do think this is going to be a roster that we can, tell them to just go as hard as you can and ask for a sub, get out, get a breather, and get back in there.
And I mean, again, I've mentioned it before, and I'll probably say it again. Always appreciate the time. We could sit here and do this. We'll probably sit here once we cut the cameras off and let everybody go and hang out a little bit. But this UNLV team under you, I'm excited about. And it's not just because we're buddies. Even though we go way back to our days in Atlanta when your dad was coaching the Hawks. Mm-hmm. I remember the first time we met in the Phillips Arena, in the family room in the back. Yes. And even aside from them, I'll still criticize you and critique you. But I do think that you've got the right pride and passion to lead this program moving forward. And I'm excited about that. I think the community, the city, everybody should be excited about the future of UNLV basketball. We've got 9 new faces. We've got guys that are still going to be coming back and returning to build this program back to where it needs to be. Make sure that everybody, you follow UNLV Runnin Rebels, the Runnin Rebels on Twitter, Runnin Rebels on Instagram. Make sure you you subscribe, so that way you guys can get more content. But we do have 2 winners in terms of some of the giveaways that we're going to do. For the first 2 that are going to be given away live right now, this T-shirt here, what does this remind you of, Kev? Can we see this here?
Wow.
So, this is tag still on it. Never been worn.
That might be a little extra special right there, because there's no way that everybody still knows where theirs is.
No, but this is one of 2 that was in my personal stash, the archives in the garage.
Why'd you have 2?
Don't worry about it. Just because for this day, I knew in the back of my mind that down the line.
All right, Rocky.
I knew down the line that we were going to come to this moment. You were going to be head coach, and we were going to reminisce that Sweet 16 year. And we're going to give away this shirt. Mountain West Conference Championship 2007. Tag still brand new. T-shirt winner is Josh Harden. So congratulations, Josh Harden. T-shirt is going to be coming your way. But please take good care of it, because it's lasted 14 years in prime condition. It was even in a plastic bag. So if you hurt it or damage it, I'm coming after you, Josh. And then our next winner for our jersey giveaway is Sean Brennan. So Sean Brennan is going to win the red UNLV jersey. It's coming your way as well. We appreciate you guys for entering the contest. We do have more stuff that's going to go away. Those will be handed out after the show, after we are off air. So keep an eye out for those winners to be announced. Closing words, parting words from head coach Kevin Kruger.
That's a good-looking jersey. I like that one.
It is.
I like that one.
It's not bad by any means. Unless it had a 2 on it or a 31, then it would be the best jerseys ever. But that's time. A story
Well, you
for
said
another
you
time.
still have everything. Mm-hmm. When's the last time you wore your jersey?
The white throwback one I almost threw on to wear today, but I didn't. Maybe I'll tweet out or post a picture on Instagram of it.
We gotta set that up.
Yeah, I've got two, a red one and a white one on the walls in the office at home. I've got like 6 pictures on the wall in there as well. We call it the Rebel Room. It's kind of like my shrine to myself. Thank you to Brittany for putting that together. Yeah. Any parting words though from Coach Kevin Kruger?
Go Rebels, pack the Mac. Pack the Mac.
Thank you again, everybody, for taking the time. We appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you follow the Runnin Rebels on Twitter, Runnin Rebels on Instagram. And we look forward to seeing you guys back in the Thomas and Mack. Stay safe. Go Rebels.